It's such arrogance on the part of Cheseboro to think that, oh, this little, state prosecutor, this woman, this African-American woman couldn't possibly be ready to go to trial. She's been getting ready for 2 years.
That is former conservative Jennifer Rubin pounding Trump co-defendant Kenneth Cheseboro, who requested from Georgia prosecutor Fani Willis an early trial date and has now received it.
She has investigated this up one side and down the other. She has really done the research on the law. She is more than willing and ready to go. And so when he said, I want a speedy trial, she said, let's make it October 23. And the judge said, fine, let's make it October 23. He seems to believe, because he's the author of a zillion crazy ideas and bizarre legal theories, that somehow he's going to escape from this because he was working at the behest of the president, or because you can't hold lawyers responsible for the advice they give, or whatever theory he has. None of that is going to fly.
And the timing of the Cheseboro crash is going to hurt Donald Trump. Because even though the early trial date only applies to Cheseboro, not Trump or any of the other 18 co-defendants, the public will get a taste this fall, before the 2024 presidential nomination voting begins, of the evidence that the Trump team and his lawyers, including Kenneth Cheseboro, engaged in a criminal conspiracy to block the Georgia election results and violated state law.
There is replete evidence against him from his own emails, from his own documents, from his own memos, showing that he knew that Trump had lost, that he was trying to devise a scheme to mimic the real electoral slate and to try to get Trump into office, even though he didn't win. She has him dead to rights.
And what Donald Trump has been trying to pull off politically is delay. The Trump political strategy seems to be to push back the trials past the 2024 election, with the idea that an election victory would let him pardon himself on the federal cases, and on the state cases like Georgia, if Trump is back in office as president of the United States, the courts might help Trump push back any state case indefinitely. But if Cheseboro gets convicted this fall, Trump's political strategy of beating out the clock would get torpedoed.
The last thing he wants is for a jury to find on the American people watching on television. This is going to be a televised trial. The prosecutor lay out this criminal enterprise that Cheseboro was part of and that Donald Trump led. And they are about to get an education in the difference between rhetoric in a political campaign and the law and the facts in a courtroom. So I can imagine that Trump's lawyers must be tearing their hair out thinking, oh, gosh, we really don't want that. And if Cheseboro finally gets the idea that, oops, maybe this wasn't a good idea. Oh, gosh, I have to go to trial in a couple months.
Yeah.
He may decide to plea, and that's also not in Trump's interest.
And that's because any plea deal would require Cheseboro to help state prosecutors in the other remaining cases. In other words, Cheseboro would become a government witness against Donald Trump and all the other remaining co-defendants. So Kenneth Cheseboro has just dug his own hole deeper and undermined Donald Trump's 2024 political strategy. Well done, Kenneth. There was a time when Donald Trump said he would only hire winners to his administration and that America would win like we've never won before. Obviously, that was another Trump lie, because Kenneth Cheseboro is quickly emerging as the biggest Trump criminal co-defendant loser. He underestimated Georgia prosecutor Fani Willis, who called Cheseboro's arrogant bluff. And now, sooner than expected, Willis is tightening the screws on Cheseboro and Donald Trump. Well played. By the way, one of the other Trump co-defendants in Georgia is former GOP County Chair Kathy Latham. She posed as a fake elector and trashed a political reporter who inquired about the Trump effort. Bah ha ha ha, she wrote. You think I'm going to respond to you? You don't know Georgia law. Read the Constitution. Latham is now facing 11 felony charges.
Violations of Georgia law.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.